The Living Lands of Avowed can be a dangerous and unwieldy place for the uninitiated, so if you're looking to get up to speed and have the best experience possible, then I've got you covered. What's up everyone, Big Dan here. I make videos about RPGs, and in this video, I'm going to share my ultimate beginner's guide to Avowed, so you can be armed with the best tips and tricks to have a top tier experience in the Living Lands. We're going to explore build variety, exploration, and some hidden buffs that can make you an overpowered godlike on the battlefield. Thanks to Obsidian and Daredrop for sponsoring this guide. If you want to check out Avowed for yourself, then be sure to click on my link in the description. Without further ado, let's buckle up, grab some iced coffee, and dive into Avowed. So let's start off with combat builds and a few things I wish I knew before I built my own character. The combat in Avowed is one of the biggest draws for me personally, along with the exploration and player choices. Your character can have 2 active weapon loadouts, and there are a large variety of different weapon types you can mix and match to create your own unique playstyle. In the early game, you'll have the opportunity to loot basically every type of weapon, so I recommend trying them all out and seeing what best suits your preferred playstyle. I'm personally partial to the guns and magic builds, so for my character I had one loadout with a wand and grimoire, and a second loadout with an arquebus. I would typically start the fight by sniping an enemy from stealth, and then swapping to my wand loadout to start raining down ice and lightning on my foes. You can really mix and match a lot of different abilities and playstyles in this game, so you're not locked into a specific build like you would be in some RPGs. So if you want to create a spell-casting warrior who freezes enemies and then shatters them with your sword, you are free to do that. I do think it is more beneficial to niche down and max out the strengths of your build, but there is some flexibility in how you can approach this. There are 3 primary skill trees in Avowed: Warrior, Ranger, and Wizard. I put most of my points into the Wizard tree because I always like playing as a mage, but I also dipped into the Ranger tree to pick up an ability which slows down time when you aim down sights, as well as another ability that summons a bear ally to help you out in combat. One thing to keep in mind when unlocking spells in the Wizard tree is that sometimes you will need to own a grimoire that has a copy of a particular spell. So for instance, in order for me to unlock the Returning Storm ability, I had to pick up a copy of a Grimoire of Storms, which had the spell. Returning Storm is an awesome spell because it not only deals AoE lightning damage, it can also root enemies in place when it's upgraded, which makes it great for crowd control. Exploration also plays a big part in Avowed's core gameplay loop and progression, and you can unlock some powerful hidden buffs if you keep your eye out. There are 4 different maps you will explore throughout the course of the game, each with a distinct biome, ranging from lush forests to arid deserts, and my personal favorite, the volcanic region in the late game. One thing to keep an eye out for are these totem pieces, which can unlock extremely powerful buffs for your character. For instance, the Wudaka totem pieces you can find in the first region of Dawnshore give you insane benefits, such as a 15% cooldown reduction on companion abilities, and a +2 bonus to intellect and resolve. In order to unlock these, you will need to find the totem base, which you can then place at this altar inside your party camp. Placing the fragments onto the base will unlock the passive buffs, so it's definitely worth exploring the world and searching for these totem fragments. If you want to narrow down your search, you can purchase a map from a vendor, which will provide you with some clues on where to find them. Or if you want to cut straight to the chase, you can always just look up a guide online. But hey, where's your sense of adventure, bro? When exploring the world, you can also stumble upon unmarked quests which are not recorded in your journal. These can lead to some unique conversations and rewards that you wouldn't otherwise discover if you were just seeking out quest markers on your map. And these moments brought back some memories of some of the unmarked locations and quests I stumbled upon in Skyrim back in the day. Another big reason to explore the world, other than taking in the lush beauty of the Living Lands, is to find unique weapons and upgrade materials for your gear. Upgrading your equipment is incredibly important in this game, as the combat difficulty and progression is centered on the quality of your weapons and armor rather than your level. There are 5 quality levels of gear in Avowed: Common, fine, exceptional, superb, and legendary. Unique weapons also provide additional buffs and can be enchanted in your party camp by acquiring enemy drops. As I mentioned in my review of Avowed, the upgrade costs for weapons and armor are pretty steep, so I recommend either breaking down or selling any gear you're not using, including unique weapons. Also, don't sleep on weapon vendors. My favorite unique weapon in this game is an electric wand I purchased from a vendor, so it's definitely worth exploring all your options for weapons. Companions will also play a big role in your combat experience, as the right squad mates can complement and strengthen your build. You will recruit 4 different companion characters throughout the course of the game, each with their own unique personality and playstyle. Kai is a tanky warrior who can taunt enemies and heal himself with his second wind ability. Marius is a roguish ranger who can dash around the battlefield dealing high damage stealth abilities. Giada is an incredible healer and shielder who can also provide massive speed buffs, while Yatzli is a powerful wizard who can slow down time and dish out insane damage with AoE missile spells. For most of my playthrough, I used Kai as my main tank companion, and Giada as a healer and shielder, as survivability and interruption resistance were important for my spellcasting build. But one sneaky thing about companions that the game doesn't teach you is that you can actually unlock permanent buffs for your character by speaking to your companions in the party camp. Each companion will have the option to train your character in a particular attribute, which can unlock permanent boosts to things like might, intellect, and resolve, among other things. So it's definitely worth talking to your companions extensively, not only to learn their backstories, but to unlock powerful combat buffs as well. Your companions will also have a lot to say about the various choices you make throughout the story, so if you ever see this little exclamation mark in the bottom left corner of your screen, it means your companion has some yapping to do the next time you visit the party camp. Player choice also plays a big role in the narrative of Avowed, similar to other Obsidian titles like The Outer Worlds and Pillars of Eternity. Throughout the game, you will meet a variety of competing factions like the Steel Garrote, the Adiran Empire, Paradisen Rebels, and a bunch of other local leaders and factions. Your choices can decide the ultimate fate of these groups, and the decisions you make can come back to help or harm you in surprising ways. There is even a secret evil ending to the game that can only be unlocked by making a series of specific choices throughout the main story. If you're the type of player like me, who likes to explore multiple outcomes, then I recommend making some manual saves periodically throughout the main story, so you have a checkpoint to go back to if you want to see a different outcome. I also highly recommend exploring for side quests and taking your time with the main story, as some quests can be failed if you just beeline through the main missions. Without getting into spoiler territory, I accidentally got the worst ending to a particular main story arc because I failed to thoroughly explore for a way to avoid a crisis by just blindly following the main quest line. But hey, I needed a reason to do another playthrough anyway, so here we are. I plan to do a full video talking about choices and consequences in Avowed in the near future, but what I really liked about the choices in this game is that most of the big decisions don't have a clear black and white good versus bad ending. You'll be faced with some moral dilemmas with competing characters or factions that both put forward good points while also having flaws in their own approach. And you don't really know which approach is better without trying them out. Much like The Outer Worlds, I think this gives Avowed some good replayability if you want to explore multiple outcomes and role-playing options. So there you have it. We walked through some of my top tips for Avowed. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more RPG videos. Big shout out to all the channel members for supporting my content. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.